Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about the originals, episode 401, titled Gather Up the Killers, which premiered Friday, March 17th, 2017 on the CW. So guys, new season, so a little bit of a new format going on with my videos if you're coming back from seeing my previous videos. But huge spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode already, go do that first before you come check out to see what I have to say about the episode. I'm gonna try to avoid summarizing because I'm gonna assume that you've seen the episode. So I'm just gonna talk about certain points or what drew my attention to it. So stuff like that. Otherwise, here are my 3 rules about my videos. First one is the fact I usually record the same night that I watch the episode for the first time. Fortunately, this past week has been busy for me, so I am recording now on March 20th. So it's been a few days, at least a weekend, that I've had to process everything that's happened on for the episode. But you do get the recordings, my genuine thoughts and opinions about the episode after I've seen it for the first time. I've only watched the episode once, and it's before any outside influence have gotten to me. I haven't talked about the episode to anybody just yet. And lastly, only thing I own in this video are any thoughts and theories I may have. Otherwise, any photos used in the video are just meant to help make the video look more visually appealing. I don't own anything. I'm not making any money off of this. This is purely made for fun, and it's a better way for me to share my own thoughts, theories, and predictions with fellow fans of the show as you guys. I won't always state these reminders in every video, but since this is the first one, I thought I'd explain it to you all once again. So anyways, again, let's try to do this in a 10-minute clock. Let's begin with what happened in this episode. So, timeline-wise, we are 5 years since the season 3 finale. So, 5 years since 322, 5 years since the Michelsons have fallen, since Klaus has been entombed by Marcel. Did I say 5 months? 5 years. I'm sorry if I said 5 months. 5 years since Klaus has been entombed by Marcel. 5 years since Freya put herself, Rebecca, Elijah, and Cole in sleep. So there's that. However, though, it is 14 months after the Vampire Diaries season finale. Now, quickly before we go into the actual premiere episode, a lot of people were wondering, spoiler alert for the series finale, just how is it that they were able to make a little cameo of Klaus when he gives a letter to Caroline in the episode's epilogue. Thing is, though, it can be a little tricky with timeline-wise because, as we know, the Vampire Diaries ended up doing a 3-year time jump in season 7. So that put a 3 years difference of just after the crossover episode in 314 and 714. So 3 years have passed, but now we have 5 years going on right now. So pretty much, how is it possible with Klaus being entombed for 5 years? How is he able to give a letter to Caroline when it's supposedly 3 years in the future for the Vampire Diaries, which is 3 years, only 2 years, or only like 3 years into his term or something like that, though. But anyways, the epilogue, it's a given saying that time has passed, which in the epilogue doesn't take place immediately after the present day events of the series finale. Sometimes that's passed. Eventually, Klaus gets free. I mean, hello, season 4. But then he eventually does write a letter to Caroline, which is how she got the letter. So it's possible. So there's a whole confusion about that. I didn't mean to go so long into it, though. But the Vampire Diaries wiki page stated specifically that it's been the moment of the premiere is set 14 months after the events of the series finale, the events of Hell being destroyed once and for all. So there's that spoiler right there. So anyway, storyline-wise, though, I've only found 2 major storylines that were happening in this episode. First one being Haley finding cures for the Michelsons, and the second being Marcel's reign being questioned. So in regards to the first storyline with Haley, we meet Keelan, who became an official ER doctor. She finished her residency and everything. Turns out she is the last remaining werewolf of the 7th bloodline that Haley's been trying to find for the last 5 years. So Haley's been trying to find all 7 venoms for the werewolves, and as its ingredients that Freya needs in order to cure Elijah and Cole. So Freya is cured first, because Haley was able to find the antidote for that. And then Freya creates the cure with the ingredients to heal Elijah and Cole. Also, Rebecca is awakened as well, just her and Cole were not seen. But Rebecca would have been cured by a witch siphoning the cure out of her. That was mentioned. Also, we get Elijah saving Haley from a bunch of vampires trying to hunt her down. And they get a brief reunion between the two of them there before he asks questions about Hope. Second storyline, dealing with Marcel's reign. It brings the introduction of Alistair, who is part of Klaus's Saga line, and he really wants he has a theory that Elijah's still alive because of the fact that he's been hunting down members of the Strix, and since the Strix are from Elijah's line and they're still alive, that means Elijah has to be alive. So he wants Klaus's blood. He not only wants Klaus to suffer, but he wants Klaus's blood to confirm the fact that they may be tethered together. But in the end, Marcel manipulates the situation so that Klaus bites Alistair in a mini fight. He takes down 2 more of his men before Marcel puts Klaus in his place and shows everybody just why he keeps Klaus alive, and that's for his blood to use as the cure for werewolf bites and stuff like that. Anyways, we also get the reintroduction of Sophia. I had to look her name up because I kept missing it in the episode, but she's played by Taylor Cole. It didn't occur to me, but every time I kept seeing her, it's like, where have I seen this lady before? And it turns out she was actually on Supernatural for 2 episodes. If you remember, she was first in episode 119 as Sarah Blake, and then she later returned in 822. So anyways, Sophia reports to Marcel about all the happenings going on in New Orleans, mainly about the witches. And she's reporting on this symbol, which looks like either a snake or a dragon in a circle with it almost biting its tail, being drawn around the city, and they have no idea why. However, in the last moment of the episode, they show Hope having nightmares, and she's repeatedly drawing that same symbol in her drawings. Many different versions, many different artistic mediums, but there's that. Tidbit-wise, though, guys, we get Haley kissing Elijah hello while she gives him a naked hug, since it's after she transformed back from being a werewolf. We also meet Vincent's new love interest named Maxine. However, she's searching for her missing son Adam, and it appears that Adam disappears in connection to the witch symbol of the dragon or snake biting its tail that Hope is having nightmares about. So there's that. Also, we find out that Freya wants to keep Keelan as her prisoner to secure the last werewolf bloodline venom, which is not what Haley had promised Keelan. Haley promised her release after the cure went through. So there's that. Now, moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I think it would have to be Freya not upholding Haley's deal with Keelan. In a way, I'm not surprised because she is Klaus's sister and all, but I thought that Haley would try to reinforce her deal with Keelan. But then I understand Freya's concern about how, with Keelan being the only source of the 7th venom, then she would need to be protected and secured in case they ever needed to make the antidote again. So I understand both sides of it. Moving on to top 3 favorite moments. I absolutely love the fight between Klaus and Alistair. Yes, it was set up and manipulated and made possible because of Marcel, but I really liked the moment where Klaus just turned the tables and, like, you really thought you can, like, take me down. You really thought, like, you have the upper hand against me. It's like, I'm in chains and I can still take you down. Like, really. Plus, also, Vincent kind of explained later on that he was the one that took off the magic on the chains and everything. And I'm like, what chains? The only magic that was really working against Klaus was the barrier spell around him. You don't need to have magic chains to use them against your opponent. And then it's not like you use magic to suppress Klaus's own supernatural abilities. Like, he can bite anyone, it would still take effect. So it's just really great to see Klaus back in action again and really showing that he's the superior alpha, I guess you can say. Second favorite moment I had was the fact that we got to see Elijah reuniting with Haley. Yes, it was a bit gruesome for that reunion, but after 5 years, it's like you really need to reunite them together after so long and stuff. But I did notice a little difference in Elijah, and I'm wondering if that's because of the 5 years he was trapped in his own head. So there's that. Also, the third favorite I love was the little bit that we got to see of Haley and Hope together. It's going to be very interesting to see just what type of person Hope grew up to be, what kind of powers she's experienced, because even Haley alluded to the fact that there's a lot about Hope that Hope's experience that Haley can't help her with, and she needs the Michelson family to help her with that, like her powers and stuff like that. So it's very interesting to see the little bit of mother-daughter dynamic we got to see of them too. It threw me off when Hope had a bit of a fiery red hair tint to it, but I'm excited to see what more we'll see of the littlest Michelson. So there's that. Moving on to top 3 peeve moments. The only peeve I really have was the fact that we didn't see Cole or Rebecca being revived. Yes, they were mentioned by Elijah saying that they needed to sate their hunger after 5 years of cursed slumber, but I was kind of hoping to see them in this episode. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. What moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The revival of the Michelsons, for sure. That's a huge one. So there's that. Moving on, though, to random questions. First one is Alistair dead? I've given the impression that he was killed by Klaus's bite, but I have no clue. Since it was Klaus who bit him, I guess you could still heal him with Klaus's blood. The vampire that Klaus stabbed with the sword, though, he's definitely dead, since originally Marcel had dipped the sword in his own venom, which has no cure except for the one that Freya had just created. So there's that. But that's the question there. And there's the timer. Almost done, though. Second question. What powers has Hope already shown to have? Haley did mention something like that. So is it something she can control? Is it kind of like an accidental magic? Is she tapping into things she isn't meant to? Is it the stuff that is it the type of magic that Freya and Dahlia warned them that Hope is going to be experiencing? But I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. Last question. Was Klaus right about why Marcel is keeping him alive? Is Marcel keeping Klaus alive as a reminder of who he does not want to become? Or because he wants to, or is it because he's secretly trying to get his figurative father figure's approval and stuff like that? So there's that. So it's just interesting when Klaus brought it up that these could be the reasons why Marcel hasn't really made a move. And it can't just be because of the fact that killing Klaus may kill Rebecca type thing. So there's that. Moving on, though, to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 402, it looks like Klaus is getting a visit from Camille, who tells him that his family is awake and coming to rescue him, though Klaus grows worried for his siblings going up against Marcel. We do see a Michelson attack on the compound and in the cemetery. We do see Cole and Rebecca from the looks of it, and it looks like we're going to see a face-off between Elijah and Marcel. Based off the synopsis, so for the 402, it looks like it reads, after being cured and woken, the Michelson siblings join Haley in an effort to rescue Klaus from captivity, even if they must face Marcel in the process. Meanwhile, Klaus's demons materialize in unexpected ways as he suffers from the effects of the Papa Doomday knife. And Vincent investigates a haunting that would prove to be much more sinister than he could have imagined. So the haunting probably has to deal with the kidnapping of the kids, like Adam. Maybe it has to deal with that weird symbol of the dragon biting its tail thing. Also, Klaus's demons materialize in unexpected ways. That has to be how we see Camille, but I don't know how that could be considered a demon unless it's a version of Camille that is going to remind Klaus of things he's done, maybe. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see about that. Otherwise, I'm hoping that we'll get to see more Cole and Rebecca, and not just for this episode. Maybe we'll see them for a little bit longer, maybe 2 or 3 episodes or so. At least for Rebecca. Cole, I like that he was on a recurring basis last season, so hopefully we'll see that continue on. I definitely want to see the Michelsons interacting and reuniting with a 7-year-old Hope. Be interesting to see how they all learn about each other in that way. But I believe that's all I have to say about that episode. What did you guys think of the premiere? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, predictions about that. Also, Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. Our free blog, promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. So go check it out and follow me there. Also, it's connected to my WordPress account, which is work in progress, but it's a little more organized. But you can follow me there, and anything else that I post online will be connected to WordPress. Also, if you want a more detailed recap of the episode, a play-by-play, if you will, with a few jot-noted thoughts or questions I had while watching the episode for the first time, check out my Livejournal entry account. The link for that entry is down below. It's a great reminder for me as I forget certain details, but it could also help you refresh your memory for the episode if you would like as well. And that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. So sorry for the delay. Again, busy work week, but I hope things return back to normal. But thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to hear what I say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.